I've been running 90-minute workshops with Spike Prime for 7 years now, and people often ask me, how do you keep everything so organised? How do you keep track of all your equipment? In this video, I'm going to show you. All my lessons start like this, so the kids have everything they need without having to spend any time looking for anything. So I set things out exactly like this, and this is how I start. I transport all my kits together in groups of 5 using a strap, but they're labelled A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. I've got 10 kits, plus an 11th kit that I demonstrate with. I've also got a tub full of extra motors, spare motors, so if the kids aren't using all the motors, I keep them in here, or I keep my new ones in there as well. In my official Spike Prime tub, I've got all the hubs in their own container, and also all the motors the kids are going to use, and balls and sockets, and underneath there's some sensors. So I start by distributing all the motors, put a motor on each tub, put some motors, or just the motors they need, no extras, and they go on top of each kit, and then next to the motors I might put the sensors that they need. So for this particular activity, the kids need ultrasonics or distance sensors, so I put a distance sensor on each kit, and they're all labelled as well, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, just so that if one is missing off a tub, I can easily look in that tub. First place I look is in the tub, it's usually there. So I spread out all the sensors on the appropriate letters, so every kid's got a sensor that matches their tub, and then I will get out the other sensors if there's more sensors needed. So I'm going to put some coloured sensors or light sensors on the tubs now, and they all have letters on them as well. So basically it's just a matter of sorting them out, putting them out at the start of the lesson. Now it does take about 10 minutes to get all this organised, but I find it's worth it because then you're not spending any time at all looking for things during the lesson. So once I've put all the sensors out, then it's time to get something else out. We're going to get out the iPads, and once we've got the iPads out, we're going to put them on matching tubs as well. So all the iPads or devices that you're going to use should have letters on them as well, so they match up with the same kits, because a very important lesson I learned early on, that is that you need to match your hub to a device, and that way it won't spend ages updating every time you use it. So I have letters on all my iPads, and all the iPads get put on the right tubs that match the letters, and then I go through the process of actually turning on all the iPads. After they're all turned on, or turn them on one at a time, put the passcode in. I have a simple passcode, and I don't care if the kids know it, because I've also got another passcode for the screen time password, so the kids can't edit the settings without it. So I enter the passcode, and I get every iPad looking identical by going into my projects and deleting all the previous projects, so that they start with a blank project, so not just utilising someone else's code, or they're not distracted with other people's codes. So I go my projects, select all, delete for every single iPad, and then I go file, start a new project. So we're always working word blocks, and I don't find it's worth doing Python with some kids really love Python, but the majority would prefer word blocks, so I always run with word blocks, and there's only so much Python you could do in 90 minutes. So I delete all the previous code, and I set them all up nicely, ready to go. So when they turn their iPads on, it's ready to code straight away. They don't have to open the app, they don't even have to put the passcode in. My passcodes last for 4 hours, so you don't have to put a passcode in. You can change that in settings for 4 hours. Just for the next 20 seconds, I want to show you how to join my channel and become a member. At the moment, I've got 4 Robot Man fans because they've become members. You can do so too if you just press join on the home page of my channel. Here are my current 4 members. There's Jeff, Joanne, Yusuf, and I think it's Exiled. Good on you guys. Once they're all good to go, then I just turn them all off. There's a little power button on the top right. If your home button's at the bottom of the screen, then the power button's at the top right. So I just turn them all off, and then I give them a bit of a wipe. I used to wipe them at the end of a lesson, but I found that it might as well just do it after I've entered all the things I need to do. And so I get some paper towel and some wipes, and I just dab it with the wipe and then rub it off with a paper towel, and that gets the screens nice and clean. So every time the kids use them, they've got a nice clean screen. I mean, it might be overkill, but for my particular workshops, I think it's nice for the kids to have a nice clean iPad at the start of every lesson. So give them a bit of wipe with the sanitizer wipe and then hit them with the paper towel. And that takes about probably 2 minutes to do all of them. This whole process of setting up probably takes between 10 and 15 minutes. Then I get out all the hubs in my specially designed hub tray that have matching letters on the tray, so I can find the hubs really easily, the one I'm looking for. I can put them out in order without having to think too much or run up and down the tubs. They're all in order there, so all the hubs have got a sticker on them to match the iPad. And as mentioned, you always use the same iPad with the same hub, and then things will go a lot more smoothly. So I stick all the hubs out, and then after all the hubs are out, we're just about done. I've just got to put the ball and sockets out. So that's my little container I made. I mean, it's not beautiful, and it doesn't have to be beautiful. No one else sees it really but me. I just stuck a whole bunch of wood in there and screwed it in and made it so that it was a perfect space for each hub to face upright. So later on, when I collect all the hubs, I can charge them really easily because the charger holes are going to be at the top. So that's what it looks like. I've got the iPad, I've got the sensors. I like to put all the sensors on top of the iPads because when the kids pack up the end, I kind of want it to look like this again. I want it to look exactly like this, and it's easy for me to tell if all the sensors are in the right spot, if they've got them on top of the iPads. I also stick the ball and sockets on top. So I go through and I get out the ball and sockets and I chuck them on top because I don't want kids looking for stuff that they need. So if every kid's got a ball and socket at the start, then hopefully at the end they've also got a ball and socket and we don't have to spend any time looking for them. So that's what it looks like. And during my presentations I remind them that that's what I want it to look like at the very end. On top of the lid I printed out this picture because I went through my kits in the early days and I found all the bits that I think that I use the most, and I sorted out my kits according to that. Because I had so many pieces, I bought expansion packs for each kit, so I sorted them out with all the important bits like that, and underneath it's just got all the other pieces that you might use. And often I'll just ask the kids to spend 5 minutes at the end of the lesson making things tidy so it matches the picture. I say to them, don't pack up in 1 minute, I want you to pack up in 5 minutes. Spend 5 minutes just sorting out the kits. Underneath the lid I've got some instructions for that particular exercise. Depending on what it is, if it's something like sumo bots, I'll have this stuck underneath there. But there's actually 4 pictures underneath the lid, and I can just, because they're all blue tacked on there, I can take them off. But it gives the kids some tips on where to start and how to attach things like sensors and things like that. But if I've got a different lesson coming up, I can just peel one off and use that one, or flip it over, and there's 4 altogether. So you can have different lessons underneath the lids to give the kids some tips on how to get started, and it saves a lot of bother and saves a bit of time. Fine kids will keep the kits pretty tidy if you give them time and emphasise the importance of keeping things tidy. Sometimes I even get some volunteers to go through and tidy up all the kits to match the lid. Some kids actually find it fun and even social to sort out your Lego for you at recess or lunchtimes. I've got these spare parts in this tub because they don't all fit in the tubs, and often I find bits lying on the floor, so I'll chuck them in there at the end of a lesson. It just saves a bit of mucking around. And the extra tubs for spare motors or new motors can be pretty handy, but the kids really don't have access to them. I only grab them if I really need them. I put this on the screen at the very end of every lesson, something like this, to show them how it looked at the start and remind them at the end they've got to put everything back in the exact position it started. And then once it's all back, I collect up all the hubs and I put them back in this tub that I've made. And then it makes it very easy to charge them up because all the charging ports are at the top. I even have stickers on my charging cable, so it's easy to work out which way the cables go in. For this I always had the stickers facing downwards. The little stickers on my charging cables save me a couple of seconds every time, and it saves me damaging the ports because I always put them in the right way around. And I've got a 10-port charger, which is pretty handy when you've got 10. And if they're green, they're usually right to go, the green lights, but I like to charge them anyway, even if they are green. And I've also got my iPads here, and the iPads all have the charging hole at the top as well. So that's basically how I set things out. It takes about 15 minutes at the start of a lesson to get everything out. It takes about 5 minutes at the end to pack everything up. But it's worth it because nothing gets stolen, nothing gets lost. If you like this video, it'd be awesome if you could check out these other ones. And don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment